Hey everybody, Bob Babbitt back here with Breakfast with Bob, Boston Marathon Edition, presented and hosted by Hyland. Stop your cramp, not your race. Polar, check out the Polar Vantage M in the Marathon Edition. And UCAN, perform, workout, energize. Our next guest, Malik, is a strength in her 6th year running performance for New York Knicks and running his first ever marathon. Did anybody break that to you? You're running 26 miles tomorrow?
My body can tell me every day. I mean, it's been a huge process. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm excited. But I'm a student of just endurance.
Yes.
My entire life I spent, lifting weights, kettlebells, using unorthodox ways of performance training, and I've never ran, up until now, more than 6 miles.
So I mean, but growing up, what were your sports? Were you like
basketball,
baseball, football, basketball?
Basketball, baseball, football.
Okay. Yep. Always. So high intensity, quick explosion. Lots of weights, right? All that type of stuff.
That's all I ever did.
Furthest you'd ever run back then? What, 100 yards?
That's it. Maybe 100. Maybe 100 yards.
Yeah, when that was punishment. Running 100 yards was like, oh my God, I did something bad. I had to run 100 yards.
But I used to always see on the track in high school, people just running laps, and I would always say, why would you just run just to run?
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. But remember Meb, when he first moved to San Diego, he had the same athletes. He says all these people running and going, where's the ball?
Yeah,
why are they not chasing something?
No, exactly.
Just running without a ball is the silliest thing in the world.
I had the same mindset, and but now I've adopted a different mindset, and it's been life-changing for the last 10 weeks.
So it's just been 10 weeks that you've gotten. Was the 6 miles you've run, was that part of this 10 weeks?
No, I took a business course back in January.
Yeah.
And one of the assignments was choose a misogi event, which is like a Japanese ritual for some type of event that would change your life and perspective and for some reason I just decided to do a marathon. So when I decided to do that, I did a 10K, which was 6.2?
Yes, 6.2.
And that was the furthest I ran. So that was like my assessment of where I am, and I did that in like 48 minutes, and that's what started the process. Was a 10K, which is 6.2.
And did it seem like forever?
That wasn't that bad.
Wasn't bad, huh?
No, that wasn't that bad. It was once I got to 8 miles and 10, which was like, okay, this is serious. I need to eat the right way, sleep the right way, and change my lifestyle around to accommodate that, because this was during the season.
Right.
So,
now, with the Knicks, take me through what you would do on a typical day as somebody working with some of the fittest athletes on the planet.
Yeah. So we have practice days and game days. So a practice day, we start around 8 a.m. Practice is at 10. So what that looks like is at 8 a.m. we come in as a staff. We meet, go over the practice plan. We discuss the intensity of the practice, review the previous day, whether it was a game or practice, to determine how much volume. Believe it or not, we track how much volume they run, how much exertion they perceive, and how much they give off throughout a game. And also we measure just how fast they're able to sustain their mileage over a certain amount of distance, whether it's a practice or a game. We track all that.
Yeah.
So we have to take that information, meet as a group, and individualize a practice plan for each player prior to them getting into the arena. To the practice facility.
Right.
So on a practice day, we meet at 8. Guys start trickling in for treatment if they're injured or have minor aches and pains around 9.
Which they all
do every day, because we play 4 to 6 games per week.
Oh, they're playing 82 games.
82 games.
And then exhibition. And then hopefully playoffs.
It's the toughest schedule. We travel 3 times a week over 3 different time zones at time, and we have to play and practice every single day. There's no days off. So everyone has soreness, their lack of sleep. So they get in at 9, so we take an hour of just trying to figure out, okay, how much attention does each guy need?
Right.
Then at 10, it's almost like an army base. We have platoons where we break them up in positions, so bigs, wings, and smalls, and they go through their lifting and conditioning and whatever else they need prior to practice as a group. And then once 10 o'clock hits, 11 o'clock hits after an hour, as a team we practice for 2 hours based off of everything we've measured and accumulated up until that time. And then we recover for an hour or 2 after practice. We finish up around like 3 o'clock as a group, and then we usually debrief around 4. So from 8 to 4 is 8 hours of just consistent work. That's the practice day.
That's just practice day.
That's practice day.
Yeah, and then what? Game day.
Game days, we have shoot around, which is just like a walkthrough. It's like a practice. and that starts around 9 a.m. on a game day. So we'll do that for 2 hours, and then after shoot around, we take the guys through different type of recovery techniques, cold baths, massage, stretching, some guys like meditation, whatever they need to get prepared for a game. We do that before noon. From noon to 4 o'clock, they're free. Where everyone's free. You go home, you work out, you train, you do whatever you need to do to prepare for a game. At 4 o'clock, they come in as individuals to do their pregame routine. So shooting, running, film, video, whatever they need to do at their time slot leading up to a 7:30 game. And then at 7:30, play the game. During the game, I'm just on the bench measuring hydration, giving them different tools to stay loose, putting them on bikes, stretching regimes, foam rolling, whatever. And then post-game, cold bath, cold tub, massage, ice, game ready, Normatec. And then the next day it's a practice with the same schedule I previously described. So it's that every day. So within between that,
yeah,
I got to figure out how
my own
workouts.
Yeah, and especially now that you become a runner.
Yeah.
It's not like you just go, you're in the weight room with the guys.
I'm in the weight room.
You can train with them.
Yep.
But now you're not. I'm sure the other guys aren't going, hey, I'm going for an 8-miler. Anybody want to come?
No,
they ain't coming with you.
They ain't coming with me. No.
Nobody's 8 miles. That's
No.
the silliest thing they've ever heard. Now they're running that far in a game.
Yeah, they're running.
And in practice, they're running a lot. But it's all start, stop,
stop. They typically run a game about 4 miles.
4 miles.
And it's, it's intermittent. I mean, it's, 500 meters of sprint work over 2 minutes of a time. But it's cute. Yeah, like I said, it's intermittent. It's stopping and starting. A lot of deceleration, acceleration. 8 miles continuous is tough.
Different
that's 4 to 6 times your body weight for an hour and a half at times, and it's a different feeling I get once I do that. And as I was explaining yesterday at one of the panels with Meb, it's not the same terrain because I'm not in the same city. So if it was just training at home, it's easy. You got Central Park, you got West Side Highway, but now you're in Phoenix or you're in Denver. And it could be elevation. It could be a trail. That's been the biggest challenge, is trying to seek out ways to get the mileage in without, with trying to keep the variables the same.
Right.
Like the mileage I have to increase. My heart rate I can't control. But the terrain, if I'm running on flat ground all week and now I have to run in the hills to accumulate my mileage, my body responds differently. And that's been tough because I can't afford to be sore or hurt the next day. And I experienced it because I injured my foot trying to adjust to different terrains during the season.
Yeah.
I still have to show up and perform as a strength coach because they don't care what my recreational
No,
time
that's
is.
your own stuff. Yeah, hey, that's your hobby.
That's my hobby,
So what have you learned from Meb?
First thing first is, when we first started talking about this, he was like 2 things. One, enjoy the process. Yeah. So enjoy the process of training for a marathon because not everyone can do that. So enjoy it. And then 2, he put me in perspective, what's more important to you? Because I had my goal to complete the marathon under 4 hours. But if you're getting injured trying to accomplish
get to the starting line.
What do you rather? You rather be 90% prepared to run the race and get 4:01, or not be able to run it at all because you're hurt?
Right.
So when he said that, I said, what, Meb, you're right. And then he said, planning out your week. See, as a strength coach and working in a pro environment all the time since I was 23, I'm type A. I think I can just do it on my own. I can run through a wall.
Sure.
Doesn't matter. I don't have to pay attention to my diet all the time. I don't have to stretch because I've never been challenged physically to have to pay attention with intricate detail to that. He gave me a plan. Look, you have 1 day of a tempo run. 1 day is fartlek. 1 day, you do sprint work. And once I started to adopt that, and then also introducing UCAN with the protein 30 minutes after my longer runs,
made a difference.
Game changer for me. Best I've felt since that, and that was 3 weeks. That was 3 weeks ago.
When did you get introduced to UCAN?
4 years ago.
Okay.
Believe it or not, one of my best friends worked for the Patriots.
Yes.
And I was looking for some energy for their team 4 years ago. And I wanted something that was had a low glycemic response.
Because that's the deal. You don't want to pump the sugars up too high.
And I wanted to get some information from someone I respected at the highest level. So the dietitian for the Patriots turned me on to UCAN, and we implement it every day with our guys, and they feel better. The energy is stable. They don't get the crashing, and they lose body comp also using it. So it was a no-brainer for me to use it and for them 4 years ago, and we've been using it ever since.
What's your biggest concern about tomorrow?
I'm not running tomorrow.
What?
No.
When are you
I'm running May 27th.
Oh, which one are you running?
It's a oh boy. It's in Waterbury, Connecticut. I just picked one randomly to get my
Good.
feet wet, and then maybe hopefully next year I can.
So you're going to watch this one tomorrow.
I'm leaving tonight, actually. I have to go back to the training
You're
center.
going to ignore what's happening tomorrow. Because
I'll watch
you know
on
there's
TV.
going to be a lot of pain.
A lot of pain, yeah.
Yeah.
But I admire the people that are
So May 27th.
May 27th.
That's going to be your first marathon.
My first marathon.
Wow. Good for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And so what's the build? What's the furthest you've run?
Tomorrow I have 16 miles.
Tomorrow's a 16 mile.
That's the farthest I've ever run. And I'm not going to pay attention to my pace. I'm going to use my heart rate.
Yeah.
And what I've learned is that if I can keep my heart rate between 150 to 160, I don't get the soreness in my shins. It's when I start to, get in this anaerobic pace of 160 to 175 with my body in particular. The next day, that my shins, my peroneals, and my fascia, my feet is extremely sore. But if I stay between 150 to 160, more in a fat burning zone for me, I'm easy. I can adjust to the increase in volume a lot more seamlessly.
So you're dealing with guys coming out of college who are 18, 19, 20 years old.
We're the youngest team in the league. We're 19.
19 years old.
19.
And I'm sure they're not coming in as vegans and watching what they're eating. It's Big Mac fries, Coke, it's all that type of stuff. Or is it? Are guys more aware of nutrition now than they were back in the day?
No, I mean they're so young, they just don't understand the body.
Because their body just burns everything, right?
Everything.
It's a freaking furnace.
I mean, I've had guys, meet me in the weight room with a bag of chips just because they don't know any better, but they're studs. No, it's working with the youngest team in the league who have to also perform at a high level. It's day-to-day just instruction of, okay, you get up, you have a complex carbohydrate to prepare you for your practices. We eat, post nutrition for practices is just as important as your pregame nutrition. They don't have the habit, so it's my job, and
your job is
to educate these guys on how to eat for performance.
And are they open?
Yes, and how to eat just for vitality as humans. So that's my responsibility.
What are they thinking about this whole marathon thing, or they even know?
They know. They think I'm nuts, but they respect it because it's like, who would do it? Like, as someone who's just is in the weight room, who's a meathead, they actually admire my courage to go ahead and do that.
Stepping out of the box.
Yeah.
You're doing something a little different.
They actually, a couple of the guys were saying they're going to come to Connecticut and watch it. So, I mean, it inspires them, and they respect me for taking myself out of my comfort zone for doing it. But they think I'm nuts.
So you've been watching basketball for a long time. How good could this Knicks team be next year?
I don't know. I'm just excited about the opportunities that we have. It's a big summer, the biggest summer I think we've ever had, and we can only go up from here. I'm gonna just say it like that.
Wow, and you guys are in a good position for draft choices
Absolutely.
too, right?
Yep.
Love it. And how have you balanced? Because you know how to weight train, but when you're running, it's you want to be a little leaner, right? Because every step is weight. How have you adapted your weight? Have you cut back a little bit on your weight training because you're running?
I cut back a lot, and I used to, do a lot of density training, so a lot of reps with a lot of volume to keep my weight up because I lose weight quicker. Early on, that just didn't work because I just felt tighter, and I don't want to have the extra weight on my body. It just makes my running a lot more inefficient. So I've adopted more of a lot of core work, a lot of, single leg stability exercises with a weighted vest, minimal amount of resistance, 20 to 30 pounds. Just to keep my tendons and my range of motion stronger within these different periods of single leg stance, which is running. But I cut back tremendously on the volume. It's more of body weight exercises, a lot more stretching, a lot more core stability, a lot more glute med and hamstring work, and I never go higher than 40 pounds now.
Have you had that runner's high yet?
Yeah.
You did?
I have. Believe it or not, when I run, it's like, for me, it's like a personal development time. I listen to podcasts or nothing, and that's where my most creative thoughts come when I run. So I look forward to just the hour hour and a half to, one, put in some new information into my mind, and then when the podcasts are over, I start to think creatively about the team, different ideas I have, different projects outside of the team I'm working on. So, yeah, I enjoy that time for me to honestly just be creative within my own thoughts.
And if you were talking to the you from 5-6 years ago and said, man, this running stuff is really cool, you're going to like this, that guy would have said what?
Why would you do that? Like, Why would you just want to run that far?
Where are you going to go? What's the point?
What are you getting out of it? Yeah, what's the point? What's the award for running 26 miles? I mean, my buddy ran a marathon 2011. I was like, dude, why? Because he couldn't walk the next day.
Yeah, and you're like
you're an
that's
idiot.
silly.
It's so silly. But it's the best experience I've ever had so far.
Love it.
Yep.
May 27th
May
is the day.
27th.
First marathon.
First marathon.
And, once you go to the dark side, you're gonna.
I heard that.
You're gonna be stuck.
I'm already thinking about September
Ironman,
15th.
you're talking 70.3.
Yeah, September 15th for a charity.
Love it.
So I'm already thinking further on because the experience is. I'm not that good of a swimmer. So I think that's going to be the biggest challenge for me. So I'm looking forward to being in the dark side for a little bit.
I like it. Next thing you know, you'll be shaving the legs and wearing Speedos in public.
Yep.
Oh, man, your buddies are not going to be happy with you.
I never thought I would be at the Boston Marathon on a panel with Meb. Just that experience and Greg McMillan, or even speaking in a radio show at an expo for a marathon. Like, this, for me, is mind-blowing because it's like I never thought I would be in an environment just for running.
Well, we love having you in our world.
I appreciate it.
All right. Bob Malik has been our guest. Again, this is Breakfast with Bob, Boston Marathon Edition. Hold on, everybody. We will be right back.